Okay, hello again. The first point I want to discuss is regarding something that has been on both sides, and that's the health of those involved in the situation, prostitution. And the aspect that most people don't really realize is that sex isn't just men and women. The fact that in the gay prostitution field that there are a lot of men who contract HIV and AIDS due to the fact that health is not exactly monitored in these situations because prostitution is still illegal. And in an article by Peter Angleton of Temple University, he said that several participants were asked to count in detail where and when they had sex in previous week. The total number of sessions was 523 for 8 people, and that's an average of 1 per day. And the fact that even though the frequency is a lot lower than what women have to deal with, when men have sex with men, there's a higher chance for HIV or AIDS being contracted, and that's an issue that deals with the health of those individuals. And another issue that is larger than contracting a disease through sex is the fact that abuse is a huge concern when it comes to prostitution, and that was mentioned earlier with Kristen. And regarding health as well is the drug use. Kristen mentioned that a lot of the prostitutes sell themselves so that they can obtain drugs. And in a study done by Dr. Paul Goldstein, he said that all 60 subjects reported some form of drug use, with 70% having used heroin, 93% having used marijuana, and 83% having used cocaine. And for these individuals in the community in Lexington, Massachusetts, he was able to generate enough results to see that a high amount of prostitution revolves around the drug industry and people selling themselves for drugs, thus further deteriorating their health. And another aspect that I'd like to discuss is youth involved with prostitution. In a study done by Mimi Silberts, she wrote that in a survey of 200 teenage and adult prostitutes in the streets of San Francisco, they found a considerable number of these prostitutes were victims of sexual coercion before engaging in prostitution. The 60% of prostitutes were sexually abused intensely on average by 2 different people on average over a period of 20 months. And with this study, those involved started prostitution at a younger age, in their early teens. And that brings up the issue of regulation of age in legalizing prostitution in brothels. And that regulating the age of the individuals is going to be difficult, and the fact that growing up in the industry where a parent could be involved in prostitution and a child being raised by that parent, is that just leads such a bad example for that child and leading them directly into the industry so that they would have to go through that. And that's not something that children should have to go through. And another aspect of how children are trafficked into the prostitution industry is the fact that children participate in acts of prostitution looking for a form of love. They are sucked into it because of their ignorance towards the matter and ability to be easily influenced, said by Dr. Kelly Weisberg. And dealing with the issue of health with children, the fact that if children participate in prostitution, there's a higher rate of them contracting diseases and being abused, and having their health detrimented at such a young age is definitely detrimental to their future and to the future of generations in some communities.